Hello, my precious wandering souls. Welcome back to Phoenix Wright, Ace Attorney, Trials and Tribulations. I think this might be the last trial of the game, if I remember correctly. So in the last episode, we exorcised the spirit, and we finally beat the freaking Dahlia Hawthorne. But now, the witness we have to cross-examine is Maya. After she just found out that the victim in this case is her own mother. So, she's not doing so well. And I don't want to cross-examine her, but she has the most information about what happened, so I kinda have to. Alright, so let's continue. I'm nervous. There's a part in this case that I absolutely don't want to reach. But here we go. February 10th, 3:36 p.m. District Court, courtroom number 7. Now then, before we proceed any further, I'm going to announce the results of the tests we had performed earlier. Tests? Oh! I'm recording this video a bunch of days after the last one, so my memory about what happened last episode is a little bit foggy. Tests. Tests of what? Blood test or fingerprint test, I suppose, but I don't remember. Oh, Phoenix doesn't even remember. Tests. Oh, right. They found a dagger. I don't remember exactly where, but it has blood on it, and we had no idea whose blood is that. So, those tests. Yes, test on the bloody dagger that was found stuck in the pine tree. Oh yeah, that. I totally forgot about it. Me too. I didn't remember. That's the weapon that Maya Fey used when she fought with the victim. So what are the results? Was it the victim's blood, or... Due to time constraints, a full test was impossible. However, there's one thing we can say with certainty. The blood that was on this dagger was not the victim's blood. Not the victim's blood. But then... whose blood? That is all. Now then, let's restart this trial. So it wasn't Misty's blood on the dagger. Whose blood was it then? The only people at the inner temple were Misty Faye, Maya, Pearl, and someone else who is the real killer. Pearl isn't hurt. Maya doesn't seem to be hurt. It wasn't Misty Faye's blood, so it has to be the killer's blood, right? Then whose was it? The killer's, I guess? Found stuck in a pine tree in a temple garden. The blood doesn't match the victim's. I'm sure both the defense and the prosecution know this, but this trial is rapidly coming to a close. Both sides will need to show some firm evidence with their claims. I understand, Your Honor. From what I've heard, the witness is dangerously weak, physically speaking, so let's finish this quickly. Agreed. Very well, please bring in the last witness. Poor Maya. Oh no. Witness, please tell us your name and profession. Maya Fey. My profession is, I'm the assistant manager at Wright and Cola offices. Maya. Oh, don't make her do this. According to the magazine I have here, you're a spirit medium of the crime channeling technique. I'm frightened. The Fate Clan. I don't want any more to do with it. No, but you're the next master. Oh, Maya. The pain the Fate bloodline causes must be unbearable. Very well. Now then, Miss Fey. When the event occurred, you were in the garden of the inner temple. And you witnessed the moment of Miss Elise Dunham's murder. Is this correct? I didn't see any... Strain up the system, young lady. Huh? Pick your head up and speak clearly. There's always time for crying later. But I... Your mother was killed right in front of your eyes. There's nothing you can do to change that fact. But there's something you can do. You can finish this. You've been watching the whole thing, right? You've seen the witnesses come out and you've seen us squeeze the truth out of them. Now is your turn. Let's hear your testimony. On the night of the crime, what exactly did you see happen? Witness, if you please. Yes, Your Honor. At the inner temple. I was passing through the garden on the way to the spare prep room when it happened. Suddenly, someone struck me over the head. I stumbled and I ended up against the stone lantern. I think I screamed, "Help me!" Then something warm splashed over me. That's when I lost consciousness. You screamed, "Help me," but to who? Why? So you were struck on the head. I suppose it must have been this stuff. Maya, the person who hit you. It was Alia Hawthorne, wasn't it? I'm sorry, Nick. I couldn't see. I don't know who it was. Maya, think hard. Sorry, Nick, but I really couldn't. Can't say it was an especially good night for young ladies to be walking around alone. It seems that it will be hard to determine the criminal through testimony alone. Very well then, Mr. Wright. Please begin your cross-examination. Maya, hang in there. Maybe I should press that part when she says that she screamed for help. She doesn't look well at all. She's been summoning a evil spirit for who knows how long. And she just found out that her mom is dead, so yeah. Okay. Maybe I should press oh, my bar is not recovered. Someone struck me over the head. Then a stone lantern. Okay, this. Why did you scream, "Help me," or to whom did you scream, "Help me"? Oh no, wait, I didn't want to. There you go. You think you scream, but you're not sure? Listen, I was a complete wreck. It was dark and I couldn't see my attacker. Was it a man? A woman? An adult? A child? I had no idea. I was scared out of my wits. Believe me, my dear, I'm certain I would have soiled my robes. I thought this person might attack me, so I... Anyway, I'm pretty sure I screamed. I thought that it was my last hope. Wow, it sounds like poor little Maya was out of her mind. But I wonder what she meant by last hope. Last hope. Did she see someone? What do I do? Do I press her for more details? What did she scream? No, we know she screamed, help me. My last hope, wait a see. My last hope? Wait a minute, Maya. What's this my last hope stuff? What? What do you mean by your last hope? No. That's what you said. You said my last hope. Huh? What? I said what? Look, you were facing an attacker that you couldn't see and you screamed, right? You screamed, help me! Yeah? But you testified that you screamed that because you thought it was your last hope. Oh, well, you know, that's like... What do you call it when that happens? Maya's not doing so well up there. Isn't this the first time she's ever had to be a witness? Aw. Oh, yeah! Oh, that's right! I remember now! I was facing my attacker, but that's not who I was screaming at. Ah, there was someone else. What did you just say? Yeah, that's right. It was the person behind my attacker that I was yelling at. That's who I was screaming for help. Ah! What? What is it now? I messed up. I didn't mean to let that slip out. What are you trying to... Huh? Witness, are you absolutely sure of what you're saying? Behind the attacker, there was another person? I meant to keep that part a secret. Maya, that's perjury. What have I done? Ha! It takes a ton of pressure to make a diamond. That's what I always say. A ton of pressure. You're in a court of law here. You can't make things up or try to hide things in this chamber. Witness, the information you just presented is vital to the case. I want you to add it to your testimony. I could see a man behind my attacker by the light of the stone lantern. Hold on a second. Where is it? Was not late the night of the crime. Huh. By the light of the stone lantern. But wasn't late at the night of the crime. Maya? Objection! So, there was a man standing behind your attacker. Yeah. That man, he's the killer. He stabbed her from behind. He's the one who killed Elise Dunham. Otherwise known as Misty Faye, your mother. The killer? Wait, I just realized something. If she saw light, but the lantern wasn't lit, where did the light come from? Oh no. Maya? You know who killed your mother, don't you? What is the meaning of this, Mr. Wright? To be frank, Your Honor, I think she is in shock and quite confused. That's why she hasn't noticed the huge problem with her testimony. Huh? What do you mean? What problem? Maya, on the night of the crime, that stone lantern was out of commission. Huh? What? It's true. There was no light anywhere in the garden that night. No! I think I have an idea. Order! Order in the court! Mr. Godot, explain this! Add the pureness of milk to the perfect clear darkness of coffee. Stir. That is the state of the witness's mind right now. A cup of café au lait. Café au lait? Is that even legal? Mr. Wright's words are the milk and you are the spoon, Your Honor. I'm a spoon? I'm no spoony Bart. I'll have you know. You must have noticed it too, Wright. This witness's mental state is highly unstable right now. It's not hard to understand why she would make a little mistake like that. Objection! Sorry, but that's not going to cut it. What did you say? If there truly was no light in the garden, then there's a fatal contradiction in the witness's last bit of testimony. Nick, may I? Recall the witness's statement about her attacker. She said that she didn't know if it was a man or a woman, an adult or a child. And yet, the witness could describe a person that was standing behind her attacker. And she quite clearly described him as a man. Ah! In other words, that would have to mean that Maya actually saw our mystery person, despite it being so dark that she couldn't see the face of her own attacker. No! Maya... Order! 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 What in the world does this all mean, Mr. Wright? Are you saying Miss Faye saw the real killer under pitch-black conditions?
Objection!
Right. Do you have any idea what you're proposing? How could she have seen in the dark? There was no other light source at the scene.
Objection!
There are some things that you can only see in the dark, Mr. Godot. Maya, you did see who the killer was in the dark. And now, you're trying to cover for him. That's a crime. Cover? For the man that killed her mother. There's only one conclusion I can draw from this. You know who this man is. Please, Nick. I don't know anything. Please, I'm begging you. Pain. Huh. You talk a good game, right? But let's see if you can walk the walk. It was pitch black, so what could the witness see? I'm calling your bluff. No, Nick, don't! Please, stop! I have to... Maya is dead set on protecting this guy. The man who murdered Maya's long-lost mother. But I can't let him get away with it. I'm a lawyer, an officer of the court. I'm here to find the truth. Alright, Mr. Wright, time to show us what you've got. Who was this person that you saw Miss Faye saw in the darkness? Well, if the lantern was not working, and she saw light, and she knows it's a man, also a person we didn't see up until the bridge was fixed. It has to be Godot.
Take that!
It is Godot. Because it was pitch black, Miss Faye was able to recognize the killer easily. I'm I'm sure the court would like to see for itself how this is possible, yes? What? But how do you propose to show us something like that? Oh, okay, I get it. It's easy. We just need to recreate the conditions of that night. Conditions? Your Honor, the defense officially requests that all the lights in this courtroom be turned off. What? This is... But it can't be! Huh. That was a nice bit of deduction. Right. Well, everyone, this is the man Maya saw on the night of the murder. Order! 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 Prosecutor Goto, what is the meaning of this? Surely you must be shocked to hear yourself accused of such a thing. Why are you denying it? Huh. Your Honor, you're asking the wrong person. What do you mean by that? If you got a question, ask the witness. That's one of my rules. Well, Maya, how about it? What you saw that night, was it 3 glowing red lights? Well, witness, answer the question. You're wrong. I never saw that. Maya! Maya! I thought the person that stabbed my mother was a man. For a totally different reason. Huh? What? Witness! Mr. Wright wasn't... Stop your chattering, Your Honor. Chattering? But... Okay, what's the other reason then? If it's worth asking, ask the witness. That's one of my rules. Alright. Well then, let's continue with the testimony. Please tell us how you knew the killer was a man. Yes, Your Honor. I didn't realize it until after I woke up, but... The killer. When I came to, I was just lying there on the training hall floor. By the time I got back to the garden, the place had totally changed. The torches were lit and the body was gone. And all of the snow around the snow lantern had been carefully cleaned up too. Since the person did all that work alone, I just assumed it was a man. So it was after the crime took place that the witness came to think the killer was a man. Yes, that's right. I'm sorry, Your Honor, No need to apologize. It's as Mr. Goto say. You're utterly exhausted. For some reason I can't talk. It's only natural that you would be a little confused. Also, if you consider the situation you described, it doesn't seem too much of a stretch to assume the culprit was a man. Mr. Wright, proceed with your cross-examination. Okay, to training hall floor. By the time I got back, the place really changed. Maybe here? The torches were lit. The torches were lit. Yes, that's how I noticed that the whole scene had changed. I'm going to say it was the killer who lit the torches. I mean, who else could it be? The killer probably lit them since it would be impossible to do any cover-up work in the dark. However, if that's true, there's one thing that still bothers me. Why did the killer go to the effort of moving the body? That's true. It's hard to see how that would be of any advantage to the killer. The only one who would gain anything from that would be the only person that was at the inner temple, Maya. Very well, let me hear some more about the condition of the crime scene. And all of the snow around Snowland have been carefully cleaned up too. So you're saying the killer cleaned up the snow? It did look really odd. Yeah. I don't know what that noise was. The snow was removed in an unnatural looking rectangular shape around the lantern. There were a lot of shovels around the inner temple. But they're all really heavy. Why too heavy for me to use? Is that why you think that person was a man? An odd fellow indeed, this killer. Why on earth would anyone want to take snow away? Well, there's one thing I can think of. Didn't you say that a lot of the victims' blood sprayed onto the snow? Yeah. The area I collapsed in ended up being splattered. In other words, the killer's purpose was to hide the bloody snow. I think that's the most reasonable explanation. Perhaps. However, there's something that's bothering me. If the killer just wanted to hide the snow with blood on it, there was no need to remove that amount. That's true. He could have scooped up just the snow that was stained with blood. It looks like there are some mysteries behind this issue. But I think this will help explain them. I just assumed it was a man. Maybe here? Maybe? Naturally, the killer must have done it, right? Yes, I think so. But why would the killer tamper with the crime scene like that? There must have been something that the killer desperately wanted to hide. The truth is, when I saw the crime scene, I felt something. You did? Yes. I felt like the killer was hiding the evidence from me, for my sake. Huh. What? Hiding it from you? Everyone knew that I was the only one at the inner temple that night. If Sister Bikini had come back and looked at the garden, she may have thought that you had done it. No, she definitely would have thought so. And you're saying that that's why the killer... But if the killer cleaned up the scene, then why... This thing still has your name on it. Cleaned up the crime scene and to make it look like nothing had happened. Again, her name is still on the lantern. Yes, I'm sure of it. Well, that's certainly an important piece of information. I want you to add that to your testimony. Yes, Your Honor. I think it was for my sake that the killer cleaned up the evidence of what had happened. Again! This thing has your name on it! If the killer had cleaned the scene, then why didn't this person clean the lantern? The body of Elise Dunham was carried all the way to Hasakura Temple's courtyard. Then, at the garden, the real scene of the crime. The snow that we suspect was covered in blood was scooped up and removed. It's reasonable to believe all this was done in an attempt to hide the true crime scene. However, there's still one matter that seems somewhat odd. Oh, and what would that be? You must have figured it out by now, Mr. Godot. Is the message written in blood on the lantern? It was written very clearly on the white stone lantern. Maya. Ah! If the killer was so motivated to protect Maya from suspicion, then why didn't they wipe the writing off the lantern? Ah, you're right! Surely you must already realize who the killer is and why they didn't clean the lantern. Order! 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 But Mr. Wright, isn't it a fact that the killer was trying to cover up the crime scene? Yes? Well, not exactly, but... Indeed, but it doesn't make much sense to move the body and remove the bloody snow. Then not wipe off the most incriminating thing of all, the bloody writing.
Objection!
But is that the case? Do you have an explanation for the killer's mysterious behavior? Yes? Yes, I do. Why would this killer move the body and remove all that snow, but then leave the bloody writing on the lantern? I don't know what the killer's plan was, but it's a fact that the killer left the writing on the lantern. There must be a reason for it. I know the reason. Well then, Mr. Wright, let's hear your opinion. Why did the killer leave the message written in blood on the lantern? The killer wrote it to pin the crime on Maya. The killer didn't notice it. The killer didn't notice it. Such. Sorry, that was Phoenix. Prosecutor Godot, earlier in this trial, you gave me some good advice. Once you eliminate the impossible, whatever remains must be the truth. Maybe you're not as dumb as I thought. The real killer wanted to disguise the fact that a crime had occurred there. If that's the case, they wouldn't have left the bloody writing on the stone lantern on purpose. Therefore, it must mean that they didn't notice it. But that doesn't make any sense. The torches were all lit and everything. There's no way any normal person would miss something as glaring as that. The thing is, the killer is not a normal person. You're right. There is no way any normal person would. What? What are you trying to say, Mr. Wright? There's only one person involved in this incident who could have missed seeing the bloody writing altogether. And who would that be? Who is the person that could have failed to notice the bloody writing? Because we know he can't see red on a white background. So to him, the lantern must have looked completely clean. He didn't realize that the obvious writing. So again, Godot. Mr. Godot, this is what you said yesterday. My eyesight is pretty messed up. Even with these huge goggles on my head, I still can see everything. You can see everything? Is that correct, Mr. Godot? This lantern was submitted as evidence today. I would like the court to think back to the moment it was first presented. This lantern! There's something written on it! But why? It's written in blood! Huh, nonsense. This lantern is as clean as a whistle. Mr. Godot, just admit it. There are certain colors you can't see, correct? You can't see red on a white background, can you? That's right. We went through this once before. In the Maggie case. During the poisoning case at Trevian. This is the apron that the delightful Miss Bird was wearing at the time. And somehow spilled coffee on. There's something still bothering me, Mr. Godot. Why have you not explained the bloodstain to the court? Bloodstain? What bloodstain would that be? Don't play games, prosecutor! The blood-colored stain that's smeared all over the apron. That's ridiculous. No one told me anything about a bloodstain. You could see the coffee on the white apron, but you couldn't see the ketchup because it was red. Huh. It's strange. In a black and white photo, those letters would have appeared black to me. I wonder, why am I the only one that can see them? So then, Mr. Godot, are you admitting it? Are you admitting that you can't see the red writing on the lantern? Hey, Gramps, didn't you know? That's the reason why I don't drink red tea. You don't even drink tea. I wasn't sure about it until now, but I just can't believe it. Prosecutor Godot is the murderer. But there's no going back now. I finally figured out the truth. Shut up, people! Thank you. Mr. Godot, the defense at this time formally accuses you. You are the murderer of Miss Elise Dunham, also known as Miss Misty Fey. It's hard to believe this may be true, however, once again Mr. Wright has brought up a disquieting fact about you. Huh. Just make sure you don't fill out the indictment in red ink, Gramps. Come on, how does a little graffiti make me into the killer? Besides, it's not like it's my name that's written there. I'm certain that the killer wasn't able to see the color red. This is rich. To go on, Wright. The answer is right there at the crime scene. In the snow. The snow? How so? Well, for example, why did the killer move all that snow? Your Honor, you said it yourself. If he wanted to hide the bloody snow, why not take out just that area? Yes, why didn't he take just that area? Ah! Could it be? Yes, the killer couldn't see the red blood that had seeped into the snow. And so, he had to remove all of the snow to make sure that he didn't leave anything out. He couldn't be sure of where the blood had landed, so he removed the whole area.
Objection!
Isn't it more likely that the killer couldn't see the blood because it was dark? No, not a chance. The torches were all lit. He would have been able to see just fine. It seems that once again this trial has taken an unexpected turn, to say the least. Can't you explain this, Mr. Godot? Hold it! I think it's Maya. Yeah. Wait just a minute. Maya. What is it, witness? Mr. Godot isn't the killer. After all, he didn't even come to the inner temple until 2 days after the murder took place. He didn't show up until after that old bridge got fixed up.
Objection!
Maya, you can't testify to something like that. Why? What do you mean? I may not look like it, but I couldn't read it. After the murder happened, you didn't even exist. She didn't. I'm afraid I don't follow. Ah, okay. Are you senile, old man? We established this just a little while ago. After the murder, this witness was unconscious for a long time. Yeah, because she was channeling Talia Hawthorne. Oh, that's right. Please, Your Honor, let me add to my testimony. Nick, please listen to me. Maya, do you plan to cover for Godot no matter what the cost? If that's the case, then I've got no choice. Your Honor, let's hear her testimony. If it means we're going to hear the whole truth, I say we should not silence her. Ha! Nicely done, Wright. Very well, let's hear the witness's testimony. Please tell us what happened at the inner temple after the murder. Yes, sir. After I woke up, I began channeling and my spirit left me, as it were. But little Pearly was there at the inner temple too. After the incident, Pearly was also stuck on the inner temple side at night. The next morning, she looked around but couldn't find anyone. The next day, when the bridge was finally fixed, she was in the spare prep room. That's when Mr. Godot arrived at the inner temple for the first time. He found Pearly first and cheered her right up. Who is this Pearly? That's my little cousin, Pearl Faye. So when did you hear about this? Oh, just a while ago, when I was in the medical office. I'm terribly sorry. But what you've heard from someone else is simply not admissible as testimony. That's hearsay. What? Come on! Pearly would never tell a lie. She's a way more honest person than I'll ever be. Real smart, Maya. You always know the best things to say when you're under oath. Ha! The prosecution has no objection. We believe the witness. Mr. Godot, let's just move on to the cross-examination, if the defense has no objections. This is highly unusual, but... well, Mr. Wright? Let's get this cross-examination started. Pearly was also stuck. The next morning she looked around. Hold it? He cheered her up? That's what Pearly said. She said he was a very nice older gentleman. Thank you for looking after my cousin, Mr. Godot. And here I was thinking you were nothing more than a coffee addict. Huh. Cut it out. You're making me blush. This guy is really beginning to get on my nerves in more ways than one. The truth is, there aren't that many pieces to look on the inner temple side. The policemen were all busy going over the garden with fine-tooth combs. So I decided to carry out an investigation in my own way, Godot style. I'm the same way. I like to hunt down verdicts just in my own way, judge style. Maybe I should ask some questions, Phoenix style. Forget it, cheering pearls up, gross investigation. Yeah, Godot's investigation. You said that you conducted an investigation of your own. Did you find anything? It looks like my investigation went about as well as yours, right? After all, I did miss the bloody writing on the lantern. Well, I didn't miss it, so speak for yourself, Goggles. The only odd thing I discovered was the beauty in the training hall. Beauty? Misty Faye, naturally. Oh, the scroll! Clad in her stunning Japanese garb, surrounded by the hue and aroma of Western tastes. Oh, the hanging scroll. Western tastes. Could he find a stranger way to describe gravy? I think in the Japanese version is curry. So, from there you headed on for the prep room. Wait a sec. What did Godot say just now? I think I just found his proverbial weak spot. There's only one thing of any importance there. Here. Oh, of course. Oh, okay, I get it. Where was Godot when the murder was taking place? He must have already been at the inner temple when it happened. Otherwise, he couldn't have killed the least Dunham. Look around but couldn't find anyone. Next day, find a fix. That's when Mr. Godot arrived at the inner temple for the first time. I think he's here. Because the hanging scroll didn't look like this when... didn't look like this when we finally were able to cross the bridge. So I think this is the answer.
Objection!
Yep. Mr. Godot, the first time you crossed Dusky Bridge and went into the inner temple was long before the murder took place. Why do you say that? Because he just made one fatal slip-up. The hanging scroll in the training hall. Hanging scroll? But... Mr. Godot is right! That scroll shows a picture of my mother. Not anymore. Maya, I know you know who it is, but here's something you didn't know. By the time the bridge had been repaired, 2 days after the murder, the hanging scroll in the training hall looked like this. What's that wonderfully delicious smell? The morning after the crime, someone covered it with gravy. Gravy? But why gravy, Nick? A little mistake by a little kid. Because gravy was much more than a condiment to the culprit. Well, Mr. Godot, if you really hadn't seen the hanging scroll until after the murder, you wouldn't have had any way of knowing that it was Misty Faye. Hold it! Wait a minute, Nick. Yes? Take another look at the hanging scroll. Look at the top. There's a crest there. How would Koto know that it was mystified just by the crest? Ah, that is the mark is the mark of the master, correct? Exactly. So if you know the meaning of the mark, then you could guess that it was a picture of Misty Faye on there. Nope. Not exactly. True, but Mr. Kodo described that, what was underneath like this. Clad in her stunning Japanese garb, surrounded by the hue and aroma of Western tastes. Oh! Yes, it's possible that he knew what the crest meant. Okay, yeah, it's true. It's possible. However, he couldn't have known that she was wearing Japanese clothing. Mr. Koto, on the day of the murder, you were hiding at the inner temple long before the crime took place. Can I ask you just one thing? One little thing, right? What is it? This whole theory of yours. It all rests on a certain assumption. That I knew beforehand that a crime was going to be committed. Ah, okay now. That's right! Otherwise there's no reason for him to stick onto the crime scene. Of course Mr. Godot knew about the plan. Huh? What did you say? Is it really possible that another person knew of the plan? Yep. Opened once before. So, the person who opened this letter was Godot. That's how he knew about the plan. So he went there to try to stop the plan, I suppose?
Take that!
This crime was actually planned over a year ago. Morgan Fay authored the plan for her daughter's future. And these instructions were hidden somewhere in Fay Manor for a year. However, by the time little Pearls found these instructions, they had already been unsealed. Unsealed? Yes, the killer had read these instructions long before Pearls ever found them. That's how he knew the crime was to take place at the inner temple. And you still insist this crafty killer is me? You bet I do. But you just said the instructions were hidden. Yeah, but... that's right! Mr. Godot couldn't have known where the instructions were hidden. If he really wanted to know, he had one great chance to find out. Yes, and when was that? During a visit. A visit? Morgan Fay told her daughter, Pearl, about where the instructions were hidden. During one of her visits to the detention center. That would be the only time for someone to have learned where they were hidden. Eavesdropping on a visit at the detention center! Yes, it could be arranged if you were someone with easy access in and out of there. Like, for example, a prosecutor such as Mr. Godot. Order! 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 Mr. Godot, you're under fire again! This murder could not have been carried out without prior knowledge. And you were the only one that could have acquired this information before the murder. Humans are afraid of the dark. And yet, at the same time, we're fascinated and bewitched by it. Maybe that's why humans drink the darkness that is coffee. Sorry for always asking, but what does that mean? It means there's a reason for everything. According to your theory, the killer in this case eavesdropped on a conversation during a jail visit where he learned of the hidden plan for a crime. After discovering the plans, he hid in the inner temple and waited for the crime to occur. When he ultimately took a person's life. And he did all of that just to protect this witness. That's right. If you're accusing me of this crime, I have to ask you, why would I do this? I think I know why. This girl is nothing but a stranger to me. Are you sure about that? I've got no reason to go through that kind of trouble to protect her. I am what you see. I am certainly not the type to rescue the damsel in distress. Maybe not, but what if she's related to someone very important for you? The killer's behavior is certainly extreme, for lack of a better word. Even considering that the killer wanted to protect this witness's life. His behavior is still a little too unnatural.
Objection!
However, you had a good reason, didn't you, Mr. Godot? An unshakable reason that forced you to protect this witness at all costs. I knew it. You figured it out, haven't you, Nick? Maya, I guess you were doing your best to cover for Godot. For the same reason, huh? That's so sad. Okay, Wright, I'm all ears. Let's hear it. It's very simple. Maya Fey is a lot more than just a stranger to you. What's this? There's one person who lies at the very center of this whole story. One person that ties you and Maya Fey together inextricably. It's Mia. You protected Maya because she's Mia's sister.
Take that!
There's a very good reason why Maya Fey's life is so precious to you. After all, she is Mia Fey's only sister. Mia Fey. You once worked alongside her, and according to Grossberg, they were a couple, so... That was when you were a defense attorney. Oh, wait a second here. Mr. Godot is a defense attorney? With your honor's piercing intellect, you must have figured it out by now. The real name of this man who calls himself Godot. His real name is Diego Armando. Isn't that right? The last time someone called me by that name was over 6 years ago. Sad music. Diego Armando, that name rings a bell. It should, Your Honor. All of this is related to a single case. A case in which a convict named Terry Falls killed himself. Mia faced first time in court. The tragic outcome left a deep wound in her heart. She knew that behind it all was a heartless, scheming demoness in disguise. But in the end, Mia couldn't tear off that disguise. However, there was one man who reached out to help her. Diego Armando, a senior defense attorney at the office where Mia worked. It's my fault. It's all my fault that Mr. Falls killed himself. Mia, you can't cry yet. The only time a lawyer can cry is when it's all over. I was moved by her. The way she put all her faith in her clients, that pure, sweet heart of hers. That's why I could never forgive Dahlia Hawthorne. Mia and I thoroughly investigated that fake kidnapping incident. Then one fateful day, Dahlia wanted to meet with me. It had been 6 months in the trial. We met in the courthouse cafeteria. Oh, I just remembered. 6 years ago, right here in this courthouse, you were poisoned. Even I didn't see it coming. Dahlia Hawthorne slipped some poison into my coffee. Some newspapers at the time called it a murder. But very little information about the case was released to the press. But you weren't dead at all. No official reports ever actually called it a murder. I was just in a deep, deep coma. I see. My body shut down, and my life became nothing but a long, deep sleep. That woman's poison did a real number on my central nervous system. I lost my sight, and all of my hair turned white due to the damage it caused. That's terrible. Apparently, it was a miracle that I ever regained consciousness. 5 years had passed since I drank that poison brew. Then one morning, my eyes flew open from the smell of a doctor's cup of coffee. Man, you are obsessed. For 5 years? You were asleep for 5 years. What in the violet? And the worst possible news was waiting for me. Yeah. Mia Fey was dead. From the very moment I opened my eyes, I had already lost everything I thought I had. The woman I loved had been murdered. And the woman I loathed had been sentenced to death. The woman you loathed! The woman who had spiked my scalding hot coffee, Dahlia Hawthorne. Huh. Good old Mia. She didn't let me down. She got her revenge before she checked out. In the end, there wasn't anyone waiting for me when I woke up. Reference! That's so sad. For someone like me, for someone who had slept away their best days, there were only 2 reasons left to live. And it was for those 2 reasons that I decided to become a prosecutor. If I may ask, what were your 2 reasons to live? The first was you, Wright. Huh? Me? If I hadn't drank that stupid poison, Mia Fey never would have died, much less the way she did. How could you know what was going to happen? Really? How would you know that Red White was listening into her conversations? How would you know that he would show up and kill her? You were the only one who was there to protect her. How could I have known about what was going to happen? But you let her die. It was all your fault. It wasn't like that. I wanted to see for myself what kind of a man you really were. So that's why you became a prosecutor. My other reason for living. She goes by the name of Maya Fey. Huh? You mean me? You were the only way I could make up for the sin of not saving Mia. Stop blaming yourself, dude. 1 year ago, when the Crime Village incident was resolved, it was obvious that Morgan Fay was planning something. Whatever her evil plan was, I was determined to stop it. My role as a prosecutor put me in the perfect position to do something about her. That's how you overheard Pearl's visit with Morgan at the detention center. I knew that the time was drawing near. Since I knew the plan, I thought I could foil it. My goal was to outwit the plan. I thought if I could do that, I could keep that girl from being caught up in it. That makes sense. If Pearls had known that the actual purpose of the plan was to kill Maya, she never would have helped out. That's the thing she didn't know. Finally, the day of the plan was drawing near. I contacted both of my accomplices. Iris of Hasakura Temple and Misty Fay. I especially needed the help of Iris. She was to take the fall in my backup plan in case we couldn't control Fay. But how did you contact my mother? She had been missing for almost 20 years. Officially, yes. What? What do you mean, officially? You've heard about it, haven't you? About the strong ties between the main family and the government. Now that you mention it, Bikini did say something to that effect. She said that the Master of Crime had great authority. Even without her official position, Misty Fay still wielded great influence. The police had been keeping an eye on her movements all this time. That's how I was able to contact her. Again, because of my position as a prosecutor. So my mother was cooperating with you? Don't ever forget. No matter how far away from you she was, she never stopped thinking about you. She was always... That's why. I knew she would do anything to protect you. If you want to know how strong her resolve to protect you was, look at her staff. Her staff? The one with the sword on it? The day the plan was to be carried out arrived soon enough. We met for the first time at Hasakura Temple. That's when your mother showed me her special staff. I realized it then, just how far she was willing to go. She was ready to use that sword to protect you from Morgan Fay if necessary. Yes, even if it meant paying the ultimate price. Mother... That night, the night of the crime, there was just one way to stop Morgan's evil plan. You mean Pearls, don't you? We had to make sure she didn't channel Dahlia Hawthorne. Well, Pearl, what are you going to do tonight? Well, if you'd like, you can come to my room. I don't remember her voice. Perhaps we can read some books together. Ah, she was distracting her. We thought we could prevent her from playing her part in Morgan's plan. But she never showed up. She was worried and followed me to the inner temple. That was the thing we were most afraid of. And that's why Misty Fay had to do the channeling herself. She channeled Dahlia Hawthorne into her own body. What? What do you mean? If she channeled the spirit first, then Pearls wouldn't be able to do it herself. Pearls explain something like, oh, maybe someone with more power channeled the spirit. So it makes sense. If the freaking master channeled the spirit, of course Pearl couldn't do it. As master of crime, Misty Faye's power was supreme. So that's how it went down. She channeled Dahlia Hawthorne so that Pearl Faye wouldn't be able to. What? Is this true? My role in the plan was to make sure no one was going to hurt Maya Faye. That's why I hid myself at the inner temple, just in case you needed to be safe from Dahlia Hawthorne. Godot. Anyway, that's all I'm going to admit to, right? Huh? There's no doubt about it. You're a great defense attorney. Oh, that's the first time you ever complimented me, thank you. But you're going to have to do the rest yourself. I figured as much. The background leading up to this incident has been laid bare. There's just one question remaining, Mr. Wright. Who killed the victim? There are only two possible suspects right now. Maya Faye, and I'm sad to say, you, Mr. Godot. It was Godot. Well, Wright, if you're the real deal, then finish this thing once and for all. Show us beyond a shadow of a doubt that you can finish this on your own. No, Nick! Please don't! But Maya, I have to! I heard the whole thing from my sister in the medical office. That's why I had to protect Mr. Godot. I can't do it. I can't testify against him. After all, he's the man who put his life on the line to protect Mia and me too. Maya, I know that. Nick. But even so, it doesn't absolve him of his crime. Murder is murder. Please, Maya, testify. Miss Faye, your testimony, please. This is the final testimony. Don't bother trying to hide anything, because I'll know. I want to hear the truth from your own lips. I understand. I'm sure you're right. I'm ready now, Nick. Alright, young lady. Tell us about the moments before you lost consciousness. What exactly happened at the time of the murder? The time of the murder. Just before it happened, I think I saw some red lights. 3 of them. I thought I'd ask for help, but just then I was splattered with blood. She wasn't dead though, and she struck back at the enemy behind her. Suddenly, the red lights went out and the whole area was dark. Just at that moment, there was a horrible scream. Right after that, Dahlia collapsed and I lost consciousness. These red lights, I thought you said you don't remember seeing them. I'm sorry. I thought I saw them, but then they disappeared all of a sudden. Huh. Things break, right? Even the best of theories. Who was it that stabbed Misty Faye? It looks like you still can't prove it. Maggie's telling the truth this time. I know it. The rest is up to me. Well then, Mr. Wright. Proceed with your final cross-examination of the witness. I think Maybe I should press the thing about the scream. Here it was dark. There was a horrible scream. Hold it? What do you mean by just at that moment? Do you mean the moment when the red lights went out? Yes, that's right. The scream that you heard then, was it Dahlia Hawthorne? I don't think so. I'm pretty sure it was a man's voice. So, Godot screamed. Why? What? So then, that scream came from the killer? That's got to be it. I think Dahlia Hawthorne must have taken the blade and attacked the killer with it. And then the killer let out a scream of pain, huh? After that, the killer stole the blade back and delivered the final blow, I guess. Well, Mr. Wright, it seems to make sense to me. It sounds like a reasonable deduction, but I still kinda wonder. There's a contradiction? That sounds about right. There's a contradiction. I'm sorry to say this, but that interpretation would create an enormous contradiction. That makes sense. After all, my deductions are almost certainly never correct. Poor Mr. Judge. Remember the testimony she just gave? Before the killer let out a scream, Maya said that she had already been splattered by the victim's blood. In other words, the blade in the stab had already been plunged into the victim. Is that right? She couldn't have struck back with a sword that was already stuck in her body. The weapon that caused the killer to let out a scream must have been something other than the staff. Because the blood doesn't match the victim's, so the blood must be Godot's blood. If you're so sure about that, then don't keep us waiting any longer, right? There's only one thing I can think of that could have been used as a weapon here. The dagger. If Dahlia Hawthorne had already been stabbed in the back by the staff, what could she have used to strike back at the killer? The dagger. We know this blood isn't Misty Face, so it has to be the killer's blood.
Take that!
I'm smart. Naturally, the dagger the killer brought to the scene of the crime. Oh, that's right! I forgot about that. This dagger was found at the crime scene, stuck into a pine tree. Yes, the detective found that this morning and brought it to me. Dahlia Hawthorne struck back at the killer with this, and she managed to wound him as well.
Objection!
Just because he let out a scream doesn't mean that he was wounded. For all we know, the blood on the dagger could have been from the victim. But we received the results at the beginning of the episode. Mr. Judge said that it can't be from the victim.
Objection!
Nope. Have you forgotten that the blood has already been tested? Since we learned it wasn't the victim's blood, it must be the killer's blood. The killer must have a wound somewhere on his body. So you're saying the blood on this dagger belongs to the killer? Exactly. A DNA analysis of the blood would prove it beyond a shadow of a doubt. And yes, Mr. Godot, it would prove that it's your blood. Nice theory, Wright. Order! Order in the court! Is this the end? Have I done it? Even he won't be able to change the results of a scientific test. Huh. Let me ask you something, Wright. Let's just say that it turned out that I was the killer. Do you really think I would be stupid enough to leave evidence like that? You missed the writing on the lantern. What? Just think for a second. I mean, you didn't miss it because you were stupid, you missed it because you couldn't see it, but it's the same. This dagger was found this morning by a detective and brought to me. There was already blood on it, correct? But even so, I was the one who brought this dagger here to the courtroom. Yes, what does that prove? Well, if I really were the killer, I could have washed the blade off and then planted another person's blood on it. It can't be! In any case, there's one thing I can guarantee, Wright. That blood, it doesn't belong to me. Eh? Not a chance. What? In any event, it seems to be established that the killer was wounded. Alright then, witness, continue your testimony. Hold it! Wait a minute. What's the problem? I know I probably shouldn't say this, but there's a big contradiction in Nick's explanation. Huh? Maya! This dagger, you said that it wounded the killer. Uh-huh, that's right. But if Mr. Godot had really been cut with the dagger, his clothes should be bloody or have a rip in them, right? Maya? Maybe he just changed his clothes? That'll solve the contradiction pretty easily. What are you talking about? It's not that simple at all. Remember back to the day of the murder. Everyone that was on the inner temple side got trapped there. Oh, that's right. And once the bridge was fixed and the police headed for the inner temple, Mr. Godot was already there waiting for them. Oh, sorry. Mr. Godot was already there waiting for them. He never had a chance to change his clothes. Order! Order in the court! What the witness... Well, maybe he brought a change of clothes with him. But no one could have predicted the lightning strike that shot down the bridge. Okay, yeah, that's true. Why would anyone have brought a change of clothes? In case of blood spatters? There's an incinerator there, so... It's possible? Did the judge take smart pills during the last recess? Well then, maybe the killer took off his clothes before he committed the murder. That way he wouldn't get any blood on them.
Objection!
That's impossible, Wright. You know how cold it gets up there late at night. After a few minutes with no clothes on, you'd be frozen solid. Huh. So that's all you've got. I knew you weren't tough enough to finish this. Right now, if Mia Fey were here, she would have closed the book on this case already. If Mia Fey were here. So come on, Wright. Can you do it or not? How about it, Mr. Wright? You've accused Mr. Godot of being the killer. But can you prove it? Have you got even one piece of evidence? The question isn't whether I can prove it or not. The fact is, I have to prove it. That's the only choice I have. I was taught that it's one of the rules of being a lawyer. I can prove it. I'm going to bring your magnificent vengeance to fruition, just as you want it. That's good. I followed you to the bitter end, right? Since there's just one piece of evidence that can prove your point. Why don't we go for the unlimited penalty? Just in case. I think I know what I have to do. Just in case. I wouldn't want to mess up. I forgot about this part. Are you trying to pressure me, Mr. Godot? Because it doesn't matter to me. I've got the one piece of evidence I need. Give me a break. You've got nothing, right? So what do I do at a time like this? It's simple. I've got to think outside the box and approach this from a different angle. Alright then, Mr. Wright, let's hear what you've got. There's one thing I've demonstrated in the previous cross-examination. The killer was wounded. That was proven by the blood on the dagger. But we decided it was impossible for him to have hidden such a wound. If he had been cut by a dagger, there should have been a blood stain on his clothing. There's one place. One place the killer could have hidden this wound. What did you say? Hidden? Just in case, you know. This is it. My last stand. I need to think about this from a different angle. I don't need to think about why there were no bloodstains on his clothing. I need to show how he hid the wound. It's the end of the line. The final strop, right? Let's hear what you've got. Where's this location where you say the killer hid this wound? Because I had no other way to prove it. I'm pretty sure the wound is on his face. And he's hiding it with the mask. Oh god, please let it fit right.
Take that!
Okay. Oh, this is so... Did I mess up? I don't know what you're talking about. The music didn't stop. Did I mess up? I don't know what you're talking about. And frankly, I don't need to know. What I do know is that you'll never be half the lawyer she was. Isn't that right? Right? Oh! Oh, maybe I didn't mess up. Maybe I did it right. This is turning so angsty. Mia was there. What was that just now? Mia? It can't be. You're living on through him. Even as we speak, you're still hiding the wound. Hiya! It's beneath your mask! During the fight, the red lights given off by the killer suddenly disappeared. Seconds later, the killer let out a scream. That's right, your mask went flying off your face. Mr. Godot, would you mind removing your mask? If you have a dagger wound under there somewhere, then I'd say this whole case is solved. Sad. Very, very, very sad. Well, very calm breakdown, by the way. Just now, I saw her spirit in you. Eh? I never liked you. 6 years ago, you helped the woman who put me to sleep by hiding her bottle of poison. And then, while I was sleeping, you let Mia die. Again, I had no way of knowing that. But you didn't care. You just kept living your pathetic happy-go-lucky life. You even had the nerve to follow in her footsteps as a lawyer. I could never forgive you. That's what I thought. You were projecting, Mr. Godot. But I was wrong about you. I knew it from the very beginning. The truth is, the only person I could never find it in my heart to forgive was me. You? Yourself? I was the one that failed to protect Mia. Me and no one else. I tried to avert my eyes from the truth, to escape from the harshness of reality. I just couldn't face Mia's death head-on, so I ran. I hid behind a mask. I threw away my true name. I couldn't even deal with being the defense attorney anymore, so I quit. But you saved Maya. Yeah, that was my plan. Up until just now, anyway. What do you mean? Are you listening, Maya? If I had really wanted to save you, then there's one person that I should have gone and talked to right away. Who would that be? Are you talking about Nick? No. But I didn't do it. I tried to get the help of Iris and your mother. But I closed my eyes to the most important man involved. Do you know why? The real reason? No. Why? I suppose I wasn't really interested in saving you at all. Huh? I think I was just trying to salvage what's left of my own broken soul. I was trying to make up for the fact that I couldn't save Mia, nothing more. That's why I let you walk right into a situation that I knew was dangerous. Forgive me. You're wrong. You put your life on the line to save Maya. Was it really for Maya's sake? Even I'm not really sure. Well, what do you mean by that? That night, in the darkness of the garden, when I saw her silhouette, a part of me must have known the truth. The truth that it wasn't really Dahlia Hawthorne standing there in front of me. It could have been Misty Faye, or even that little girl. But I still picked up the blade. It was like I was dreaming. I'm not sure exactly what was going on in my mind at that point. Was I really motivated by the pure desire to protect Maya Faye? Or was it something else? Was it my hatred for that woman who had stolen everything from me 6 years earlier? Could it have been simply a desire for revenge? And now, I don't know anything anymore. I did learn something today, however. I finally realized that I was the arrogant one. I was just chasing an illusion, a fantasy. The stupid fantasy of defeating you in the courtroom. You were the one who made me realize my folly. You never ran away from me as dead. Instead, you picked up where she left off, as a true defender of the people. In that one moment, I understood everything. Mr. Godot. I think you already know this, but if you don't, my name is Diego Armando.
Mr. Armando, I believe in you. I know you were trying to save me.
Thanks.
Your wound is bleeding.
Huh. Did you forget already? In my world, the color red doesn't exist. This must be my tears.
Tears?
Ever since I woke up from my coma, I think I've been waiting for this very moment.
Mr. Armando!
You do well to remember this, Maya. The only time a lawyer can cry is when it's all over.
This time, it really is all over, isn't it? Defendant?
Yes, Your Honor.
Although you weren't directly involved in the murder, tampering with the body and the crime scene is a serious offense in itself.
I understand, Your Honor.
Mr. Armando explained that to me very carefully. I knew the risk and I willingly cooperated anyway.
Very well.
Before I hand down my verdict, is there anything you'd like to say?
Well, there is one thing. I'd like to say something to Mr. Wright. I want to apologize to you.
Apologize to me? For what?
For the case 5 years ago, of course.
I just remembered. Weren't you poisoned by your own lover?
Not exactly, but yeah, something like that. I ate glass. Even now, 5 years later, I can hardly believe it. She was going to do it. She was planning to kill me. It's not all that surprising. The two of you hardly knew each other.
Huh? What do you mean?
You and my sister. You only met twice.
Uh-huh. The first time they met was when Dahlia gave him the necklace. And the second time was the whole case, the whole trial.
Huh?
We only met twice?
The first time you met was on that fateful day. The day she poisoned Mr. Armando in the cafeteria of this very courthouse. The next time you met her was 8 months later. You met her again on the day that she stole your cold medicine. And Doc Swallow was killed.
No way! It just It can't be true. Phoenix, connect the dots. I mean, during our whole relationship, we were... For those 8 months, the woman that you thought was Dahlia Hawthorne wasn't actually my sister. Huh? It wasn't Dahlia? Phoenix, connect the dots. I hope you and one day you can forgive me, Phoenix. Oh. You mean... That's right. I lied to you for 8 months. But why? Why would you do such a thing? Ever since she gave you the bottle that day, my sister was trying to get it back as soon as she possibly could. Because of the police investigation under surveillance. She couldn't move about freely. So that's why you... My sister, from the beginning, she was prepared for the worst. Prepared for the worst? She thought that you might somehow discover the truth. That's why she was always ready to deal with you at a moment's notice. You mean she was ready to kill me, don't you? She already has so much to answer for. I didn't want any more sins on her soul. I begged her not to do it, and she agreed to give me a chance. And that's why you came to me? You came to get the bottle pendant back from me in her place, and that's why she kept asking over and over to get the bottle back. But I couldn't get you to give it back. I failed at something even as simple as that. 8 months passed and I still couldn't get it back from you. Finally, my sister couldn't wait any longer. She didn't consult me about her plans for you that day. It was the first time that had ever happened. That was a bit strange, wasn't it? Up until that day, you two were partners in crime, and she would confide with you. I think she must have noticed. Noticed what? My feelings for you. If I had found out she was planning to kill you, I would have done whatever was necessary to stop her. Even if it meant her life, or mine. Iris! After spending those 8 months by your side, my feelings towards you, they changed. I have something to say to you two. Yes? You really are the person I always thought you were. Even after Dahlia Hawthorne was found guilty, I still believe in you. Thank you. Why is this game trying to make me cry? How many cups of darkness have I drunk over the years? Even I don't know. I'll tell you though. Right now, this one here is the greatest cup I think I ever had. Don't you think so? Phoenix, right? First time he ever calls me by the correct name. Yeah, I think you're right. The purpose of this trial was to rule out the murder of the victim, Elise Dunham. At some point, I'd expect you will be tried for your role as an accomplice in this case. I understand, Your Honor. Very well. On the charge of murder, I hereby find the defendant not guilty. Yippee! Wait, where's the confetti? Court is now adjourned. What about my confetti? Maybe it's because she's not fully innocent. My confetti! Oh. February 10th, 4:51 p.m. District Court, defendant lobby number 1. So I guess it's all over. Can I cry now? The way everything ended, was justice really served? The man who risked his life to save Maya is being sent to prison by my own hand. Of course justice was served. Hi. Mia! I'm proud of you, Phoenix. Your defense was truly brilliant. But I couldn't save Mr. Armando. The man who cares so deeply for you. You're wrong, Phoenix. You did save Diego. You saved him in the only way possible. You mean with that verdict? Can I cry now? I think one day you'll understand too. Phoenix, I want you to remember one thing. You are as good out there today as any defense attorney could ever hope to be. There's nothing more you can learn from me. Mia! You've accomplished something I wasn't able to. I owe you a great deal. Thank you. Mia, I'm gonna cry. I'm sure we'll meet again. Someday, Phoenix. That's a freaking lie. I've handled lots of cases and seen a lot of things. And along this journey, I found myself asking just one question. What does it really mean to defend someone? I suppose today's case produced one possible answer. Hey, how you feeling? Nick? Maya? I guess it's just like my sis said. Mia? What did she say? That night, when I channeled Mia to get her advice on what to do, this is what she wrote back in my notebook. Don't worry, Phoenix will save everyone in the end. But... Come on, cut it out with that gloomy face. Can't you see? Me, sis, and I'm sure Iris too. We owe you for everything you have done for us, Nick. Oh... Maya, how can you be so bright and chipper after all that's happened? You were brutally attacked. You even saw your mother murdered. Ow! Francisca! Still as softy as always, Phoenix, right? Hey! Excellent work, Wright. Huh? Mr. Edgeworth? When did you get back? Oh, that's right. I guess no one filled her in on that. Edgeworth and Francisca have actually been helping me. Helping you? If these two hadn't been there on the first day of the trial... the defense wouldn't have gotten anywhere. Wow! But where were you, Nick? At the hospital, very, very sick. I heard he fell into a river and caught a nasty cold which forced him to sleep all day. Yes, he laid in bed shivering from his fever with Iris's hood pulled over his head. Oh, ouch! Talk about embarrassing, Nick. You definitely need more training. Anyway, thank you, Mr. Edgeworth. And you too, Francisca. I don't suppose... I don't know who this is. Gumshoe? Maybe? I don't suppose... There's room for me in this group hug, is there? Oh, Larry! What's with that, longer than usual face? I realized something when I was reborn. I realized that Larry was never of any use to anyone, not even once. As much as I dislike you, you did help. And you've helped in other cases too, so... as much as I hate to admit it, you are good
Larry, enjoy those words. I'm never saying them again.
That's not true, right, Nick?
What? You asking me?
Well, Nick, is it true? I've got a place in this world, right?
Everyone has a place in this world. Huh? Yeah, of course.
I knew it! Everyone would be better off if I were gone for good!
Don't say that.
No. Oh yeah!
Those portraits you painted, they were really good. Isn't that right, Edgeworth? What? Me?
Why are you making that face, Edgy?
Oh, well, yes, indeed. I certainly can't say that they lack resemblance.
Do you really mean it? What about you, Francie? Did I draw you well, too? Ah! My beauty can possibly be captured by a mere crayon!
You need more sophisticated tools for that, Larry.
Nevertheless, I recognize the effort you put into it, and that's worth something. So then you'll do it, like you promised? You're going to model for my next picture book, Francis Whippity. Ah! Don't get carried away.
She's trying.
Well, how about that? I guess painting portraits is the only thing I'm good at. The painting of Pearl was pretty darn good too, if you ask me. Huh?
Now that you mention it, I haven't seen her around. Pearls, where could she have gone? She heard part of the trial, so she must be feeling really bad. Normally she would have been made a beeline for Maya.
Oh, I'll go look for her. Be right back.
Do you know where she is?
Hey, Pearly!
Right. You seem to be uncharacteristically puzzled. I suspect you are wondering how Maya can be so cheerful despite all that has happened.
Yes?
Yeah.
To be honest, I can't understand it either.
Francisca. That's right. She lost her father fairly recently as well.
The difference here is that Manfred von Karma was a horrible person.
I think I understand how she feels. Maya is a much wiser person than she appears, and I think she realizes something. Now is exactly the time where she needs to be as strong as she can.
What do you mean by now is exactly the time?
Maya wasn't the only one that was badly wounded by this incident. In fact, there was someone that was hurt far more deeply than she. I believe it's for that person that Maya is trying her best not to cry. Someone who was hurt more deeply than Maya. Pearl. Edgeworth, I think I'm starting to understand too.
Ow! Then tell me, Phoenix Wright, who is Maya Fey being strong for?
For Pearl.
Take that!
Pearl Fey?
The poor kid, after all, the reason that she worked so hard to follow the instructions was because she loved and believed in her mother, Morgan.
It's for the good of the Fey clan.
I'm sure she believed in every last word. She thought she was doing it for Maya. That's why she was so happy. It shows how truly devoted she is to Maya. She must be devastated. But it's a cruel irony that it was her exuberance that led to this tragedy. Maya Fey's mother was killed, and Maya herself was put into the deepest peril imaginable. And that's exactly why Maya is putting on a brave face. She's doing it for Pearl's sake, until she can see her smile again. Oh hey! So this is where you all were! Wow, looks like we're going quite a bunch here today! Ah! What was that for, sir?
Sorry about that, Scruffy. My wig just seemed to have a mind of its own.
What's up, Detective Gumshoe? Oh, you know, this and that. Anyway, congrats on your win. Let's go out tonight, Paul. Dinner's on me.
Can you even afford it?
My salary just sort of kinda gone down by a teeny-weeny bit, but it's alright. I made reservations at a first-class French restaurant tonight.
No, not that place.
Ah!
Pretty good work, Scruffy. That whip was your reward.
Detective Gumshoe, you said a first-class French restaurant. You don't mean... Trevian! Where else?
No!
I knew it. We're doomed. But the food in that place is horrible. Come on, let's go, everyone. Can't keep Maggie waiting, pal.
Are you dating now?
Hey, you, crybaby. You're invited too.
Oh, forget about me. Pearl and I will be at the loser's shack eating potatoes.
You know, Maggie is taking an awfully long time to get back. Don't tell me Pearl went all the way to Hasakura Temple. She's still out looking for pearls. Oh, you're back. Oh, Maya, what's wrong?
Nick, what do I do? Pearlie, I can't find her anywhere.
Huh? I'll bet she just went back home. That's all. You think?
I thought so too, so I called the village. But no one has heard from her. This has never happened before.
She's probably at Hasakura Temple. As I figured, she has been badly hurt by this incident. She feels responsible for the tragedy that has befallen you, Maya.
But none of this was her fault. What should I do?
Go find her. Detective Gumshoe. Yeah, where is it, pal? Could you guys go on ahead? But what about you? Maya and I will join you guys once we find pearls.
Nick!
Don't worry about us, Detective Gumshoe. We may be a little late, but we'll definitely be there. We have a lot of celebrating to do tonight, and I wouldn't miss it for the world. Yeah, but you're the... Ah!
Very well, Phoenix Wright. We'll go on ahead.
Don't keep us waiting, Wright. We won.
But where should we look? Where could Pearlie have gone?
Let's go, Maya. There's only one place I can think of that pearls might have gone to. Hasakura Temple, right? Yep. February 10, Hasakura Temple, main gate. Hasakura Temple. For pearls, I bet this is a very important place. After all, it's where this whole incident started. What's this? You're all back again so soon. Hello, have you seen my tiny child?
Sister Bikini.
I thought we'd be eating mashed potatoes alone tonight.
So she's here? Pearlie is here?
She's in the training hall. Why don't you hurry along and go see her?
Oh, okay.
Oh, the scroll. Ah, she came here to clean it. Oh,
Pearlie's not here.
Ah, Maya, the hanging scroll.
Ah!
Someone cleaned it off. Probably Pearlie. It's got to be pearls.
Ah! Mystic Maya! Pearlie! Why did you just leave like that? Mystic Maya! Mystic Maya! I saw her could never trouble the two of you ever again. Because it's all my fault that Mystic Maya's mother.
That's why you came here?
It's the least I could do to pray for your happiness.
You don't have to do that, Pearly. It wasn't your fault. You didn't do anything wrong. Of course I'm sad that my mother is gone. But how do I say this? I'm still happy.
You don't have to lie just to make me feel better.
No, really. It's true. The only reason I'm still here at all is thanks to everyone who was there for me. My sis, my mother, Mr. Armando, Nick, and you. If even one of you weren't there, I'm sure I wouldn't still be alive right now. That's why I have to be strong. For all the people that were there for me when I needed them. That's all I can really do.
Mystic Maya!
I'm impressed. You truly are the daughter of Mystic Misty. Sister Bikini, your mother, Mystic Misty, was a strong woman indeed. I want to tell you that what she said to me that night. After dishonoring the good name of Wright, I don't have the right to face my daughter. But still, Maya is always in my thoughts. It's true, she'll always be with me until the day I die. Your spirit was with her. That's why your mother was so strong. Even at the end, I'm sure she had no regrets. Come on, cry. She'll always be with me until the day I die, huh? There's a rule or something all masters are to follow, isn't there? To never take the charm off until the day you die.
That's a master's talisman!
The thing that Mystic kept by her heart and would never take off. It wasn't the container that was important. Rather, it was the contents. That's...
A photo?
Ah!
Mother?
It's only natural for living creatures to fight to protect their own lives. But what makes us human is that we fight for others. But who do you fight for? How hard must you fight? That's the true measure of what human life is worth. We defense attorneys are warriors who are constantly challenged by that question. Oh, babies. Even when the battle is over, and the bonds that connect us are severed, we always return, time and time again. Mia, Maya, Pearls, Mr. Armando, and Maya's mother too. I learned that from all of them. Well, shall we get going? Everyone is waiting.
Ah!
This is a day to remember. A day when a lot of things were finally put to rest. I think we should celebrate what we've overcome today.
But I still can't.
Oh, go on, sweetie. You can come back for training anytime.
Okay. Alright, I'm going to make a brand new start too. Sister Bikini, I'll be back for more training, I promise.
I know, and I won't go easy on you just because you're the future master. I'll make sure to prepare reservations for 3 when you come back.
Alright, we're going to have a great feast today, Pearly. You know why? Because training is a battle of endurance. Okay, Misty Maya, I'll eat lots and lots of food tonight. You know, there's one thing I don't get, and probably don't want to, but... What is it, Nick? Reservations for training is fine and all, but why for 3? Come on, what do you think? You're one of us, Nick. Next time you can train right alongside us. I don't have spiritual power. Oh, Phoenix doesn't have spiritual power. What good is training going to do for him? Huh? I'll be waiting for you. Sister Bikini will take special care of you. Huh? Oh, it'll be great, Nick. We're going to do the special course, naturally. That's a great idea. After all, Mr. Nick, you'd do anything for Mystic Maya, wouldn't you? Even walk on hot coals, right? Oh God. We'll have a nice big meal before we come next time, right, Nick? You know, I was wondering if I can say just one little thing. Sure, of course you can. Oh, I love this part. I can't wait to hear it. I'm getting goosebumps too. Well then, here goes nothing.
Objection!
Ay! Can I cry now? Pain. I'll really have to work extra hard now. Master of Crime and Officer Manager of Wright and Cola offices. And I have to be a good big sister to Pearly and Nick too. Well, as long as I'm not locked up and captured or something like that. Try to not get in trouble, Maya, for... God damn it. Baby. Size 2! Mr. Nick really is Mystic Maya's tiny shine armor. He went through the special course all the way to the end. Actually, I heard there's a legendary extra special course here too. I'll think I'll surprise the 2 of them by making them a secret reservation. Oh no. Oh no. Hey!
Maggie bought me a brand new coat as a present, pal. I feel 10 years younger. I'll never take it off.
Yes, but somehow you don't seem the same. I guess a dirty, shabby old overcoat is more like detective, sir.
Don't worry about it. In the name of love, a man will solve himself silly.
Oh. Hey! Mr. Wright, I am once again in your debt. Thanks to you, the Treasures of Crane exhibit was a great success. I even got to see Miss Von Karma, who I hadn't seen in almost a year. She taught me how to use a whip and said that I must show you what I've learned.
Oh no.
Hey! Desi and I started a company called Master Mask Consulting. We're dedicated to stopping the evil plans of all the criminals in the city. Our motto is, cut it out, please! Pretty cute, huh? Well, we also sell plans for the criminals as a kind of side business. I wonder if that's okay. Sometimes I think maybe we're the worst criminals. If one thing doesn't work, you can try with the other one, I guess. Hey! I wanted to show my appreciation to Mr. Wright for exterminating Don Tigre, so I lent him 500,000 and a tea set, a special thick tea, one I mixed with my own 2 hands. I bet he's drinking it now. Win through compromise. I like her. Oh hey, I'm just old in the way and wrinkly, complete clone-nosed, weighted of flesh. At least that's what I thought. But my grandkids had a birthday party for me the other day. Talk about embarrassing, 69 years old and I cry like a baby with a dirty diaper. Nice. Oh, I don't remember my voice. As usual, we have an abundance of work to do. We've hired a new programmer to replace Glenn Elk. I do hope everyone will get along. His name is Adamara. As soon as I heard his name, I knew our brain circuits were aligned perfectly. The company is just full of people with palindrome names. My, more reporters! Since the murder, we've made so much money I hardly know what to do. I think the magazine liked us because I provide such a nice visual, especially in spring. I can hardly wait for Iris to come back. Oh, so she's getting... she's getting out of jail after some time? Because I thought every person in this game got... You've turned into such a respectable man, Vinny. It was so sweet of you and everyone else to come and visit me here the other day. Of course I was happy that you constantly had your eyes on me, but I felt kind of bad when the little one slapped you so hard you got a nosebleed.
Objection!
So I guess I was wrong because I don't know. I thought everyone who gets sentenced for a crime, even if it's not murder, I thought they just were locked up forever. But I guess Iris is leaving jail after some time. I don't know. Freaking pain. No! What's this? I'm back from a long entire vacation and no one is here to greet me. I guess while I was gone, my little whippersnapper buddy quit and I got no one. And what kind of lonely, crazy security room is this supposed to be anyway? What's with all the flashing lights and switches? I feel like some sort of space alien. And know what I'm going to do with all this macadamia nuts I brought back for everyone. I've been going to edgy poo. I know exactly. I need to kind of something. I'm afraid of something. I can't. Too fast. I finally found something I love to do. Francis Whippity Whip Trip is gonna turn the R-wall on his head. I should have realized it sooner. Self-centered, lazy, antisocial. I'm an artist, a really good portrait artist. I'm not a loser after all. At least he found something that he likes to do. Oh, that's so cute. Look at Pearly! I'll give it to him. He's good. But his personality doesn't help at all. Can I cry now? I wanna cry now. Yippee! Oh god, my throat. Pain. Okay. I love these games. I love them so much. I'm gonna start recording now. I'll start recording the next series soon. I'm actually recording this on December 31st, like a few hours before the countdown, so yeah. So I hope you liked it. If you did, maybe consider liking and subscribing, and I'll see you on the next the next game, I guess. Bye bye.